Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hibiscus Sports Complex for your QBL Game of the Week. We are here with the Southwest Metro Pirates and the University of Sunshine Coast Rip. My name's Regan Baker. I'm joined by John Guana, and what a game we have lined up for ourselves here this afternoon. And before we kick things off, a massive happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there that are tuning in and watching and that are here live with us in the stadium. John, got an amazing game for ourselves lined up here today. How do you think things are going to pan out?
It's going to be a really interesting game today. The Pirates come in undefeated, powerhouse of the competition, and you've got the RipCity coming in full strength finally for the first time. We're going to see the debut of Hannah Shaw, the England international, so I'm expecting a tremendous matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be two great games, and both teams coming out with amazing wins, either last weekend or last night as well. University of Sunshine Coast coming out with a big 89-63 win over Gladstone, and Southwest obviously playing their second game for the weekend after having a great victory last night versus the Rollers. So two teams coming off great wins, both going to want to come out here today and get that next win on the board.
It's going to be a huge game. Pirates had that tough win last night. It was an unexpectedly tough game for them. I think they're going to be challenged again today, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the Pirates come away with the win.
Yeah, absolutely. And after the game last night as well, I did have a great chat with Coach Cheney as well from Southwest, and he is a little bit hesitant about the way the team's performing at the moment, and some of the issues that they are having is some of their big stars just aren't here. You've got the likes of Jade Kirisome away with the Gems down south. Nat Taylor wasn't in the game last night. Kalani Purcell is still away overseas. So the team on paper is incredible, but the issue with having so many high-profile players is they're not always going to be around. They've got other international or national commitments as well.
Well, it's not necessarily an issue though, Regan, because you have so much depth and so much talent. It gives other players opportunity to step up, and the reality is that the Pirates have as much talent, if not more, than anyone in the QBL competition. Last night it was Nicole Seekamp and Maddie Willie stepping up and leading the Pirates to a victory that they needed, and it's good for them to be challenged without some of their top players, so not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And University of Sunshine Coast is definitely going to give them a run for their money as well, because we're definitely not going to discount them. They've got some big stars in their team. You know, when you've got the likes of Carly Smith coming out as well, who's represented Australia in the National 3-on-3 Championship. You've got some big players with the likes of Leah Scott hitting double figures in every single game and averaging about 30 points per game. I mean, it's going to be a great contest out here on the floor.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what Shaw brings to the table as well. I think she could be a difference maker for the Rip, but we'll have to see how she performs on the court. This is going to be our first matchup, so first time we're getting to see her live outside of the comm games.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to be a great game here as well. So we're just waiting for the referees to sign off on the scoreboard and kick things off. And it looks like the jump ball is going to be between Steph Bairstow and number 7, Megan Ditchburn. And we're just having some issues by the looks of it with the score bench, so we've got a little bit of a break here. We might take a quick break. We'll drop things down, but we'll be back with you shortly when the game's ready to commence. We're just trying to fix up some issues here on the floor. So stay with us and we'll be right back with the live game kicking off in quarter one. And we're back ready with you here. We just had a couple of little jersey issues on the court. A little bit of confusion between Carly Smith's uniform number. It definitely looks like a 6. As Coach Cheney comes and jumps in on the stream with us as well. But we're all sorted now. Carly Smith is number 6 for the University of Sunshine Coast Rip. And here we go. Steph Besto straight out of the bat, winning the jump ball, getting the ball to...
Ellsworthy had a pretty decent look there, probably rushed it, but a little excited to start the first possession for the Pirates.
Yeah, definitely so, but University of Sunshine Coast Rip, they're going to be the first ones to put some points on the board as Shaw goes straight to work on the inside, putting a nice little bucket away, and she's going to go to the line for the and one.
Yeah, well, Scott is a very talented player. She comes into the game one of the top scorers in the competition, averaging 30.7 points per game. She also averages 12.5 rebounds a game, Regan, so going to have to keep an eye on her on the glass if you're the Pirates.
Absolutely, and the free throw is good for the and one, so it is 3-0. Rip taking the early lead over the Pirates. A little bit of miscommunication there as well as Ellsworthy pass goes wayward. Rip now with another chance as Shaw goes to work inside. Can't quite get the conversion.
Well, you see right away, though, Regan, Rip going to Shaw on the post. They like that matchup inside. Yeah,
absolutely. Maddie Willie putting one down the other end, though. And look, with the size of Shaw on the floor as well, I mean, we always thought Besto was a big player for Southwest, but Shaw just towers over us. So that's going to be a very tough mismatch on the inside.
And what that does also for the Rip, it allows Lee Scott to play away from the basket where she also can do a lot of damage. She's not responsible for being the main post player.
Yeah, and great steal here from Ellsworthy as well, giving Southwest the opportunity down their end. But that's exactly it. I think Rip has such a good team in the sense that they've got such a broad spectrum of players, different heights, different abilities. So as Maddie Willie hits the 3 ball, getting 5 points on the board nice and early for her. But Rip does have such a diverse team, and it gives each player the ability to play the position that they want to play and the position that they excel in.
Yeah, the Rip are going to have to figure out how to play, though, with Hannah Shaw. Being the first time she's playing, they're already into their 4th game of the season.
Yeah, a little bit of a clash there between Seacamp and McDonald as well. Making things work as well now, though. Rip with another opportunity. Ball going down low to Langhorn. Her fire is no good. Willie a little bit late to the rebound as they go straight back to the bucket with Scott, and she puts one in for 2.
Southwest doing a good job getting their hand on a few of those rebounds. Not doing a good job, though, securing them. They need to do a better job on the glass. They're allowing Rip second, third chance opportunities here. Could come back to haunt them later on in the game if that keeps up.
Yeah, it definitely could. And it'll be interesting to see how Southwest adjusts to having Nat Taylor back into the squad as well. So similar to how, Rip's going to need to adjust to Shaw, Southwest is going to have to adjust to Nat Taylor as well. Long drop there, no good for Rip. Southwest going to get the ball in the out-of-bounds possession. Taylor with it at the top of the key, kicking around to Ellsworthy. Back up for Willie. She's going to fire again from high up and hits another swish from the top of the 3-point line. She's having a great start to the game.
A great start to the game, great start to the season as well. On the season, Willie came into tonight shooting the ball from beyond the arc at about a 37% clip. She's been tremendous so far for the Pirates in 2018.
Yeah, Seacamp just couldn't quite get her pass inside to Willie on that occasion, but Bairstow with a 3-point shot fake stops and pops, just rolls out. But Willie has been such a dominant force for this Southwest team as well. I mean, she just seems to get better and better with every season. And in her game last night against the Gold Coast Rollers, she played a phenomenal game and top scored for the team as well. So making a huge impact for this Southwest team.
And McDonald comes back and answers with her own 3 from the top of the key. So we're all not at that 8. It's a back and forth affair. Pretty high paced also. So interesting to see if the teams can keep up this frantic pace to go through the rest of the quarter.
Yeah, definitely. So it's very different from some of the games that we've seen so far where teams have come straight out of bat playing a nice, slow, controlled game. But both teams just running and gunning and playing a really fast and very good team game as well. There's lots of passing going around the arc and looking for those cuts on the inside. So teams playing a very good team game, very fast-paced.
Yeah, Bairstow, that one hurt, missing a wide-open layup.
Shaw going to work on the inside, nice and strong. Can't flip the 2-point bucket away.
That was great defense there by Seacamp, just settling her feet and not giving up possession. She got position, held her ground, and just contested. That's exactly how you want to play defense in the post.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's going to have a very tough job marking Shaw, probably for the most part of this game, I would say, between her and Bairstow. It's going to be a tough gig trying to mark up on Shaw. Speaking of which, Shaw's going to check out and take her first break of the game, and Bianca Abbott, the veteran, is going to check in.
It's a nice, what the addition of Shaw does. Not only does it give you an extra talented player on the court, but it helps you depth. Abbott previously was starting for the Rip, and she is a starting quality player. But to be able to bring her off the bench is just a tremendous addition to the team.
Yeah, and I don't think Abbott would mind coming off the bench as well when you've got talent like Shaw on your team as well. I mean, that's a great position to have in your starting lineup as well. And having Abbott come off the bench, I mean, that just gives this Rip team a lot more depth than what they've had in previous years.
Exactly, Regan. And depth is key. You can never account for people getting into foul trouble and just when players are going to be needed to step up. The more experience you have, more depth you have, the greater your chances of success are in the QBL.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we've had games in the past where like this season alone, where we've commentated on the fact that some teams don't have a great deal of depth. You look at the starting five lineup and you've got some big names on the court, but if you don't have the depth to actually back up those key five on the lineup, I mean, you can't play a 40-minute game at 100% quality. So having that depth, having the ability to rotate through your players on the floor, it gives you the best impact possible.
Nice drive there by Maddie Willie. She's fouled on her way to the bucket by Chris Langhorn. Langhorn was with the Rip a couple seasons ago, was away from the QBL in 2017, makes her return to the Sunshine Coast. She's the captain of the Rip. She has a bit of WNBL experience under her belt as well, so really talented player. Good return for the Rip.
Yeah, I'm actually really impressed by the team that Rip has got together with themselves this year. And as I was saying, I was having a bit of a chat to Coach Cheney last night about the game today, and based on their performance from last night, he was saying that it's going to be a really tough battle, and his team is going to have to perform consistently across all four quarters if they're going to compete with this Rip team, because they do have a very deep, talented team.
Yeah, you just can't take for granted the Rip team. Pirates would not be overlooking anybody. They know that they're one of the teams to beat, and they're going to get each team's best shot every night. If they fall asleep, they nearly let one slip away last night against Gold Coast, but I think the talent shone through on that one.
Yeah, and that's going to be the thing that Southwest is going to have to pull together for the game tonight. Last night they had 2 or 3 standout performances in the likes of Willie and Seacamp. But if they're going to try and compete with this team here today, they're going to need to get every single member of the team on the board and on the money, because they can't be shooting at as low a shooting percentage as what they did last night.
And Scott just picked up a reach-in foul late in the shot clock. Those are the ones that kind of hurt you if you're Coach McCracken. Played really good defense for about 20 seconds or so, and then you bail out with a silly reach-in foul.
But for the most part in this game so far, both teams playing a really good defensive game as well. We're almost 6 minutes through, and we've only had 4 fouls on the board as Ellsworthy goes to work on the inside with a nice little floater. Both teams playing a very good defensive game, and that's also going to be key in getting the victory this afternoon. Is you need to be able to play strong defense, you need to be able to move your feet and not make silly foul decisions.
Yeah, Pirates have been good defensively most of the season.
Yeah, there's McDonald fires the deep 3, but that one's no good. Board regained on the inside by Carly Smith, and she's fouled on the putback.
Yeah, that's a good rebound there by Smith. She's got great size for the QBL. She's a force inside the paint. You have to, if you're Southwest on the glass, you have to account for Smith, Shaw, Scott. The Rip are relentless on the glass.
Yeah, absolutely. And going to the bench is the University of Sunshine Coast Rip. Sorry, McDonald checking out and Lani Scheibner checking in for the first time in the game. Smith can't quite get the second shot to convert there. Bairstow coming down with the much-needed defensive board. She penetrates down the center, kicks out playing the outside game as Maddie Willie goes to work on 3. Nat Taylor with the tap away, but straight into the hands of Langhorn.
Yeah, good take there by Langhorn. Just taking what the defense gave her. They gave her a lane right to the bucket. I don't think Coach Cheney would be happy about that, but good finish cuts the lead to 1 for the Pirates.
Yeah, and I don't play a lot of basketball these days anymore, unfortunately, but one thing I always got told is you never tap away a rebound. You always do everything possible to pull it down, and that's exactly why that tip went straight to Rip, and they converted on the opportunity. You got to pull that board down and be strong with it.
Yeah, Seacamp hits a nice 3 as well. She struggled a little bit from the three-point land. If she can get that three-pointer going, she just adds another dimension to her game.
Yeah, and we know she can do it as well. Going inside is Scott, and she fires home another two-pointer, bringing the lead back down into 2 again.
Yeah, that's a great finish there by Scott. She's already proven that she's a talented QBL player.
Yeah, she's been an impressive import for this RIP team as well. She's had such a great season so far, and we're only into week 3.
There she is with the defensive rebound now, pushing it up court. Just multi-talented. Last year for the RIP, Scott was really the 5-man. Now you see her playing a little bit more on the perimeter.
Yeah, playing a little bit all over the place. I mean, she's got a lot of size to her, but when you've got the likes of Bianca Rabbit and Shaw on the floor as well, I mean, she has to step back, and I don't mind seeing a little bit of guard work out of her as well. She's got really good ball handling skills, so to see her being able to play multiple positions across the court, again, it's just giving the RIP another advantage.
And how about the catch inside by Scott, finishing through the contact. Ties the game at 17, opportunity for a 3-point play. And I think that was the second foul there on Maddie Willie, so Willie takes a seat on the bench. Yeah, that will be her second, so she'll sit down for a little bit of time. Not too much of a concern for Cheney this early on. Scott goes for the free throw and makes that as well. She's already having an incredible game. That'll be her 8th point, I believe, so far in the game. Yeah, we talked a little bit about Southwest's depth. Kelly Page checks in for Willie. Page is just a do-it-all guard, forward, whatever you want to call her. As Ellsworthy finishes with a great left hand, but having a weapon like Page to come off the bench that can do whatever you need her to do is just a great addition for Coach Cheney to go to. Yeah, absolutely. And Southwest has a lot of good depth coming off the bench as well, as we see a young Southwest junior checking in Neve Tratt. Steph Best are going to take a break for the first time. But Southwest does have a very good depth in their team as well. When you've got the likes of Kelly Page checking in from the bench, and also the likes of Grace Champion as well, playing for Brisbane Capitals last season, I believe, and coming across to Southwest this year. I mean, she's another great defensive addition coming off the bench as well. Yeah, Coach Cheney's gonna use his bench. He definitely won't hesitate to use him, that's for sure, regularly. But it's nice to know that if you get into a bit of foul trouble, you have that depth you don't lose that talent when you go to the bench. Yeah, absolutely. There's nice defensive play there by Nat Taylor, just putting her body on the line and getting the stop shot on the inside. Rip will have 2 seconds on the shot clock on this inbound play. It goes straight into the hands of Langhorne, but they can't quite fire away as Bianca Abbott shot a little bit too late, but Southwest going to continue the possession. Yeah, good defense there from the Pirates. As you see, Tratt get the basket. First bucket of the QBL season. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how Tratt performs, coming straight out of the under-18s as well. So really good young addition for this Southwest team, but she's been having a great last season and a half playing for the juniors in Southwest, so it's really great to see that development pathway. And, you know, those are 2 points of many, I'm sure, in the QBL for Tratt. Yeah, well, Langhorne showing the talent there, stepping out from beyond the 3 and draining the three-pointer. It's a tight battle here, 21-all. Yeah, really good start to the game by both teams, but Seacamp not going to be outdone. She stops and pops for 2 of her own. Yeah, Seacamp's been really impressive for the Pirates. She started off slow that first round, but she's been on fire ever since. Yeah, sometimes coming into a new competition, it can take a little bit of time to adjust to not only the way the other teams play, the way your own team plays and the referees as well. But she's, you know, she took that first game on the chin and she's been performing ever since. She's been having a great season. Neither team can really string together consistent stops here. Both teams just kind of trading buckets at the moment. I'm sure both coaches are going to focus on the defensive side of things because it's really all flowing for both teams offensively. As you see Page drain a 3 from the corner. Yeah, this is some incredible shooting percentage from both ends of the court. So I think you're right, Johnny. Both teams at the quarter, they're going to need to talk about their defensive strategies and prevent teams from making easy buckets like they are at the moment. Again, straight back down the other end of the court. Rip going straight to the bucket. Those points going to Carden David. Yeah, Jen Carden David is a really talented player also for the Rip. She had a big game last week and her season high of 16 in a win versus Gladstone. And again, talking about depth, 16 points coming off the bench for Carden David as well. I mean, that's a pretty impressive effort. Not bad at all. It's a 4-point lead now for the Pirates on the back of that Nat Taylor corner 3. Down to 5 seconds to go. Rip with one final chance to score. Scott taking it nice and slow, taking a long 3, but that is no good. So we come into this quarter-time break. Both teams playing an incredible offensive game of basketball. It is 29-25. Southwest in the lead by 4.
So we'll take a bit of a quick break here, John, but we'll be back with you shortly for more live QBL action presented by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. And welcome back to Hibiscus Sports Complex as we continue to bring you the QBL Game of the Week between the Southwest Metro Pirates and the University of Sunshine Coast Rip. And John, what a first quarter that was. Both teams shooting an absolutely incredible percentage from the field. Let's have a look at the stat sheet.
Yeah, you look at the statistics and immediately I'm drawn to the shooting percentages for the Pirates. They're 10 of 19 from the field for just under 53% from the field. The thing that really jumps out though, Regan, 5 of 9 from 3 at 55.6% for the Pirates. That's the difference in the quarter there. Rip didn't do a bad job from the field, hit on half of their shots, 10 of 20 from the field, but only 2 of 6 from 3. That's the difference there.
Yeah, absolutely, and already a big shout-out. It's got to go out to Maddie Willie and Lee Scott, both on 10 points apiece, and both shooting at high percentages as well. Maddie with 75% and Lee Scott from 80%, both 100% from free throws. So some really, really great statistics going out to both teams. As straight away down the end of the court, Steph Bairstow goes to work on the inside, but can't quite find the bottom of the net.
Yeah, good take there by Bairstow. That's the second layup that she has missed, so once that first one falls, like we always say with Bairstow, it could be devastating for the Rip.
It seems to be the way Bairstow works. She misses a couple early on and she's still finding her rhythm, finding her warm-up. But once she hits 1 or 2 in a row, she's just hitting for the rest of the game.
And there's Scott again. She's well on her way to a double-double. She had 10 points and 6 rebounds at the quarter-time break. Got another rebound and a couple more points. So she might have the double-double by the half.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me the way that she's been playing at all as Shaw goes to work on the inside. That one no good. Nice little tap away for Tratt to the hands of Bairstow for Southwest.
Yeah, that's a really good opportunity for Tratt to match up with an international player like Hannah Shaw. She did a great job there, holding her position, not leaving her feet, contesting well, and forcing the miss from Shaw.
Yeah, and Kelly Page's three-point shot, no good there for Southwest. But it is going to be a great opportunity for Tratt. I mean, it's not often at 17 years of age you get to match up against an international superstar. Shaw just beats her on the left-hand side, rolling baseline and getting the bucket for 2.
I want to give a shout out to Mike St. Maurice, checking in, watching the game live up in Townsville. Mike, thanks for tuning in and letting us know you're watching. Love your support. Thanks for it.
Yeah, Townsville's about to be my second home too, as well as I'm moving up fortnightly work up there as well. So I'll see you up there in Townsville. Lovely place up there. Bairstow going to work on the inside.
Good block there from Shaw.
A big elbow there as well, trying to just protect the ball from Langhorne. Nothing malicious in it, not even a foul. Shaw goes to work down her end of the court and fires one away for 2 with the and one.
Yeah, and Coach Cheney going to take a timeout. He's not happy with the way his team started this second quarter. The Rip have really dominated the start of this second quarter, and a lot of it is behind the play of Hannah Shaw. Saw the big block on one end. That's her second bucket, or second deep seal, I should say, of the quarter. She got the bucket plus the foul. Going to have to tighten things up if you're Coach Cheney. That's why he takes the timeout. Yeah, definitely. So they're going to need to work a little bit on the defensive end. As we said in that first quarter, it's all going to come down now to who can play the better defense and who can stop those buckets. Because both ends of the court, both teams shooting great percentage basketball. It's just going to come to, you know, whose defense is going to be able to prevent them from getting on any kind of scoring streak. Yeah, well, at the moment, Rip really have tightened things up, like we said, on the defensive side of the ball. They're doing a good job controlling the glass. The Pirates have missed a couple gimmies as well, so, you know, it's not just the Ribs defense. They're getting a couple good looks, but you can see Coach Cheney wanting to just settle things down for his troops a bit in that second quarter. It's only a 2-point deficit, but he just didn't want to. I think he just wanted to really stem the flow. The momentum was certainly in the favor of Rip at that moment.
Yeah, definitely so. It's a really good tactical timeout early on from Coach Cheney because Rip were just getting on a little bit of a run, and they just need to reevaluate the way they're going to play up on Shaw because she's had a big impact already in this second quarter with a couple of early buckets. So stopping that flow, just having a little bit of time to take a step back, take a break, it just gives them a time to reassess how they're going to play. And realistically, they're just going to need to step up that defense a little bit, and especially from the inside as well. They just need to pick up their key defense.
I want to take the time to remind you that this game is presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia, showcasing Australian sport online. If you haven't done so already, visit the Nothing But Net Media and the Live Sport Australia Facebook pages. Give us a like so you can keep up on all the happenings across sport in Australia.
Yeah, Shaw goes 1 from 1 from the free throw line on that occasion. Southwest finding themselves in a 3-point deficit after having an early lead in the first quarter. Nat Taylor now on the right wing, drives cross court, kicking out. Southwest going inside, down to single digits on the shot clock. Kelly Page with a fake and drive around Shaw, fires one away, but a little bit too much muscle.
That was a good look there for Page. Used the pump fake well.
Between the two games last night and today for the Southwest team, I've seen a lot of really good pump fake action as well. It's not just your shoddy little pump fake action that you see that doesn't do anything. They've actually had a really good percentage shot faking out on the wing because they have had such a good 3-point percentage, and then taking that left-hand drive. It's really been working for Southwest, and I'm surprised teams haven't picked up on that yet.
Well, one thing that's definitely working for Southwest this afternoon is Sarah Ellsworthy. That's the second floater she's got in the paint, just doing a great job finishing around the rim.
Yeah, Ellsworthy's been such a key pickup for Southwest. I mean, we've covered probably 3 of their games now, I think, for Nothing But Net Media, and every single game we keep commenting on it. She's just been playing outstanding for this season, so for Southwest to pick her up and bring her up from Adelaide, I believe, is her hometown, so she's been having a great season. What a great addition.
Fantastic addition, and the defense has certainly tightened up here for Southwest, forcing the Rip at the moment. They've got 1 second to go on the shot clock. Just tighten things up a little bit, contesting while staying in front of the defense. Really good job defensively.
And that's it. It's all about moving your feet, getting in front, as Shaw has to fire that last-second jump shot. No good, but they are going to win the rebound battle as the ball gets knocked out of court by Bairstow, so they'll have another 14 seconds to give it another crack.
It was a good look out of the baseline out-of-bounds play there. Shaw got a good shot off. Unfortunately, it came up short, but for the Rip, it bounced out of bounds, and they get another possession.
Yeah, and Lee Scott's going to take that possession. Nice little pick and roll there. Shaw showing the talent, setting that screen, rolling straight to the basket and getting it back as well. I mean, that's why she's an international player. That's great offensive play.
And again, at the moment, if you had to pick one weakness, it's the depth in the middle for the Pirates. As you see an offensive foul call, moving screen. I think they got that one on Shaw. I think that's going to be her second personal as well. So, first, sorry, I should say. Yeah,
Southwest getting a little bit lucky on that occasion on that inbound passage of play. So 34-31, the deficit down to 3 as Steph Bairstow goes to work on the inside with a great assist coming from Seacamp.
A good penetration there from Seacamp, finding Bairstow wide open for the bucket. Like I was saying before, though, that's if you had to pick a weakness of Southwest, they don't really have a true 5 on the roster. And you see right away, again, Rip going right at it. They're not hesitating to attack the paint. They're doing a really good job of it as well, spreading out their Pirates defense and then attacking those gaps. Yeah,
Nat Taylor now down the far end, taking a wide wing jumper. And I think that's going to be Southwest's biggest problem. If they can't clean up their defense and stop these big offensive drives down the center of the court, they're going to find themselves in a little bit of trouble. But speaking of defense, Ellsworthy, what a great foot movement to get on the inside and just rip the ball out of the hands of the Rip players.
Yeah, Ellsworthy's been the Pirates' best defensive player, as far as I'm concerned, head and shoulders so far this season. She's doing a bit of everything for the Pirates. I'm sure Coach Cheney couldn't be any happier with the play of Sarah Ellsworthy in 2018.
Shaw going to work on the inside, faking right, driving left, picking up the Taylor on Nat Taylor. And again, the Southwest defense just getting beaten on almost every occasion by Rip. They're not playing as a coherent defensive team. They're kind of going one-on-one. There's no real step-up help defense from coming off the baseline. And it's leading to little fouls like that from Nat Taylor, which they don't really need to do. You just need to move your feet or play help defense. And if Southwest can't clean up their defense, they're going to find themselves in a bit of trouble early on.
And Coach Cheney sticking with the man-to-man. Shot clock violation there. I don't think anyone recognized that the shot clock was rolling down. Definitely not the rip.
No, it didn't even look like they were close to taking a shot either. I think they just took it for granted that they still had some time left, but unfortunately not as it expires. Maddie Willie down the southwest side of things. Seacamp again, driving strong into the center of the court and just flipping one in for two.
And Seacamp being aggressive, not settling for the jump shot, attacking the rim. That's exactly what you want to see from your team when you're down a bit.
And she's just such a good team player as well. You look at the passage of play before, similar situation, she drives strong to the inside, but then just dishes out to the open Bairstow on the right-hand side. But on that occasion, she drives through, kind of fakes as though she might pass, and then just flips it up herself. So she's got a wealth of talent, but also not a selfish player, which is exactly what you need.
Oh, no way. Seacamp does it all for the Pirates. And we just saw Maddie Willie check out with her third personal with 5:15 to go in the first half. That's a big loss for the Pirates.
Yeah, that's not the position they want Willie to be in. She's still scoring incredibly well for the Pirates and playing some great defense as well.
Yeah, Seacamp doing a good job forcing the tough play there from Scott. Referee's getting worked over by both coaches at the moment.
Both coaches and crowd by the sounds of it. Sponsor boxes beside us having a little bit of a dig as well. Southwest now 1 point in the deficit with an opportunity to get themselves back in front. Ellsworthy kicks out to Taylor, looks to take the three, but passes inside to Bairstow, who rolls, but no good.
That was a great catch there by Bairstow. Just kind of didn't help herself, stepping too far away from the basket.
Yeah, Bairstow's been struggling a little bit from the inside. That'll put her from 1 from 7 from the field. So not yet to find her form, but Seacamp's pass on that occasion to Bairstow, just a little bit too ambitious. Bairstow not quite able to get there.
It was the right idea, just the poor execution there by Seacamp. Bairstow and Seacamp. Actually, everyone's going to get a breather because there's a timeout on the floor.
Yeah, definitely so. So we're going to take a quick break as well, but we'll be back with you shortly for more QBL Round 3 action presented by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. And welcome back to Hibiscus Sports Complex as we continue to bring you the QBL Game of the Week between the Southwest Metro Pirates and University of Sunshine Coast Rip. John, second quarter, not quite as smooth for either team on the offensive end. Starting to drop a couple of shots, losing the percentages that they had in the first quarter. But both teams still playing an incredible game of ball.
Yeah, it was always going to be difficult for the teams to keep up that frantic pace. I think they're trying to maintain the pace, but they're getting obviously a little bit tired as well. You can see just how the players are starting to get a little bit more drained. The passes are a little longer or shorter, and they're not cutting as hard. But it's still a quality game, and it's a tight battle. It's only a 1 point game. Long way to go.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough battle all the way through until the very end as we see Abbott trying to spin around Seacamp, but the defense just a little bit too good on that occasion as she gets the steal. Ellsworthy now deep wing 2. That one's no good. And again, Lee Scott just getting herself ready for that double-double because she's been firing on the defensive rebounds.
Yeah, she's definitely got the double figures in the points. I think she's slowly creeping up to double digits in rebounds. I think that was her 7th or 8th one for the afternoon.
Sunny Coast End now, and Carton David couldn't quite fire that 3 home. Southwest pulling the defensive board. Seacamp steps up to the 3-point line and fires one, and that looked good straight out of the hands.
And it was a great look there by Ellsworthy, finding the trailer on the cross-court pass. Seacamp had no one on her, very easy to catch, step right into the 3, and she drained it, nothing but net.
Yeah, well, that was Ellsworthy's 4th assist as well, so she's been playing a great team game as well, and really, she's just got such a good eye for basketball, and she always knows where the players are that she needs to get the ball to, so great work. And again, Sarah Ellsworthy just all over the court. I'm already saying a favorite for MVP in this game because she's been playing a great defensive game as well.
Yeah, that was just fantastic defense there on Carly Smith. She knew she was giving up the size. Again, used her feet to get in position, used the body to hold her ground, and forced Carly Smith into a tough shot there, and then a turnover. So you cannot ask for any more from Ellsworthy. She's given her everything.
Yeah, she's given this game, like you said, she's given this game absolutely everything she's got, and she's playing really well down both ends of the court. Southwest goes to work on the inside, extending the lead out to 4.
Yeah, kind of get a bit of a sense that the Pirates they're starting the game to play the game the way that they want to play. And you can see the Rip kind of slowing down a little bit. A lot of that has to do with them turning the ball over. That was another turnover there for the Rip. They're hurting themselves a lot here this afternoon, the Rip.
Yeah, well, that was their 8th turnover in the game. Southwest only has 3 in that category. So turnovers is something that I always talk about because it's one of my pet peeves, and it does make such a difference to the game. So Rip are just going to want to clean that up a little bit. That's great baseline cut there from Seacamp into Besto, but Besto still yet to find her shot.
And we heard the shot clock go off there. That one definitely hit the rim. Here's some pressure from Southwest. Let's see if Rip can break it. They do.
Lee Scott driving on the left-hand side. Nat Taylor just not able to determine which way Scott was going to drive and picking up that defensive block.
I don't think Scott could really determine which way she wanted to drive on that one. I just was fortunate for her that Nat Taylor was in the way, and there was definite contact. So Scott got bailed out a little bit there on that foul call, and it's the 3rd foul on Nat Taylor. She just gave Coach Cheney the thumbs up. She wants to stay in. And Coach Cheney's going to abide.
Yeah, Lee Scott keeps her 100% record from the free throw line. That's 3 from 3 for her. And this will make it, 3 from 4. So she misses her second. Southwest still in the lead by 3.
And just to give you a heads up, we're hoping to catch one of the coaches at halftime. They'll pop over before they head into the locker room for their halftime break. We'll have either Coach Cheney or Coach McCracken join us for a quick chat before they head into the locker room.
Yeah, Ellsworthy again going to town on the inside. Getting very, very tough defense from the RipCity. Couldn't get the ball over the 2 sets of hands.
Yeah, it wasn't a great choice there on the shot from Langhorne.
Seacamp takes a top of the key 3. That one's no good. Foul going to be called here on Kelly Page on the rebound. 1.5 minutes to go in the second quarter here.
That's the 15th foul on the Pirates, so that's going to be a couple free throws. Looks like for Jen Carden-David, going to go to the free throw line for a couple shots.
Yeah, going to take a long walk down the other end of the court. The Southwest coaching and playing staff all just questioning the foul count of 5-1 at the moment. It's been a little bit of contact both ways, but for the most part, it seems to be fairly okay. I mean, it's a really great aggressive game of basketball from both ends, and both teams playing really good defense, and for the most part, playing through that tough contact as well.
Yeah, it's been a really physical game. Referees doing a good job letting them both play. Want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, the Australian Sports Network, providing all of the live graphics you see here throughout our broadcast and throughout our entire coverage of the QBL season. If you need any assistance with live streaming or graphics, web, anything, get in touch with Australian Sports Network. Visit their Facebook page, give them a like, and get in contact with James.
Yeah, lead cut down to 2 now here as we come to 1.5 minutes to go in this second quarter. Sarah Ellsworthy just taking a nice little free throw jumper, but can't find the bottom of the net. Southwest going to get the ball back though as Tratt manages to get the tip into someone from the Rip. Couldn't quite see who it was, but they'll get the ball back with 14 on the shot clock.
Seacamp wants to go one-on-one with Carly Smith.
Yeah, waved away the screen as she steps up just in front of the three-point line and takes a jumper. But no good on that occasion, though. Scott now with a chance to drive hard and fast down the court. Kicks out. Great offensive work here from Rip. Passing the ball around. Scott on the three-point line. Seacamp, great fast hands, knocking the ball out of court.
Yeah, she's kind of lucky she didn't get called for a foul there. It was certainly a reach in, bit of contact. Referee's letting that one go. Good quick hands, though, like you said, from Seacamp. Rip have 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Ball inbound to Scott, down to 6 seconds on the shot clock. She drives straight down the center of the court. Kelly Page, unfortunately, a bit of a poor defensive decision there, stepping up very last minute and making contact on Scott.
Scott does a pretty good job of drawing the foul there as well. There was definitely contact. I don't know what people are complaining about. It looked probably that Scott was acting to or trying to draw the foul intentionally, but there was definitely contact there. You got to blow the whistle one way or the other as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Scott was stepping up to take the shot. She has every right to jump and land, and yeah, Kelly Page is a little bit too slow to take that last step forward and picking up the foul. Lee Scott goes to free throw line, making 2 from 2, locking the game at 40 apiece. So we might end up with a draw coming into the quarter time break, but we'll see how things go. Southwest with an opportunity now. Seacamp going one-on-one with Scott, tries to hand off to Page, who stumbles and loses control. Ellsworthy, though, she steps out on the three-point line, fires away, but rattles in and out.
There's about a 7-second differential between the shot and the game clock, so Rip will have to get a shot off, and Southwest should have an opportunity to answer as a nice move there from Abbott. And the Rip take the lead.
Yeah, 42-40 with 15 seconds to go on the game clock for the half. Southwest with the last opportunity to get some more points on the board and potentially draw it back up at 42 apiece or take the lead by 1. Seacamp's going to slow things down to the top of the 3. And unfortunately fumbles the ball, giving it over as Smith fires a very deep 3 on the last minute, but that will be the quarter. 42-40, Southwest trails by 2 to the University of Sunshine Coast Rip at the half.
Hopefully we'll get Coach McCracken to join us to have a quick chat. I'll see if I can grab him, Regan.
Yeah, you go for it, John. I'm going to quickly run through some of the court halftime stats here so far as we get things set up for this interview with Coach McCracken. But what a great game it's been played down both ends of the court. Very, very strong either side. The shot percentages have definitely dropped, but it was always going to be a little bit difficult to maintain a 50 and 52% shooting percentage on either side. But still doing a really good job on both ends. Southwest still shooting from 36% from the field. RipCity just keeping that percentage a little bit higher. They sit at 44%, so they haven't quite lost as much. We've just found out. I think we're going to do the interview at the end of the halftime break, are we, John?
Yeah, I think we'll get Coach McCracken on his way out of the halftime break, but he'd be pretty happy with his team's performance. They weathered a bit of the Pirates storm. I really thought Pirates were starting to get the momentum. I thought they were going to make a nice run to pull away and really give themselves some distance. Rip did a really good job weathering that, and now they go into the breakup too. I mean, that was a great half of basketball. Really good start to the game, good action from both squads.
Yeah, definitely so, and I think the big difference has been RipCity has really stepped up their defense that quarter. As I was saying before, they caused Southwest to shoot at a much, much lower shooting percentage, 36 versus 52 at the quarter time break. But RipCity still shooting at a high percentage as well, so Southwest defense just not quite as on point as what it needs to be at this stage. But it is halftime now as well. So we're going to take a quick break here, guys, and we're going to come back at the start of the at the start of the three-quarter time break, and we're going to do that quick interview with Coach McCracken and see what his thoughts on the Rips' performance has been so far.
It's a great first half of action. Don't miss the second half of action here on Live Sport Australia and Nothing But Net Media.
We'll be right back with you shortly. And we're back live from Hibiscus Sports Complex as we continue to bring you the QBL Game of the Week between the Southwest Metro Pirates and the University of Sunshine Coast Rip. We're joined here now in the commentary box by coach of the RipCity, Jay McCracken. Jay, what a great first half of basketball for you and the girls.
Yeah, it's really exciting. This is the first game we've had all our team here. So with Hannah Shaw flying from England and Lani Scheibner joining us from college. Yeah, it's great to have them all here.
Yeah, what was the big change that you would have talked about at the quarter time break? Because coming out in that second quarter in particular, the girls just seemed to have so much more energy and they played a much better defensive game.
Yeah, look, we felt like we let them have a lot of open shots in the first quarter, especially C-Camp. And, as you know, when she gets going, she's really hard to stop. So had a major focus on defensive stops and just guarding the man and closing out on shooters.
Yeah, so are you able to give us any insight in terms of how you're going to finish out this half and try and get the girls all the way to the end?
Oh, look, I think if we just, at the end of the day, both teams are very talented with loads of talented names in their roster. I think at the end of the day, whoever wants them more is going to get it. So we've just got to be the one at the end of the day with more points on the board than they do. Yeah,
definitely so. And what kind of things are you going to adjust to stop Southwest from, when you got big names like Willie and C-Camp who can really put some quick points on the board? What's your defensive strategy to stop them?
We really want to control the tempo. We know that when C-Camp gets in the open court, she's really hard to stop. So we just want to get a good stop on her. And obviously with Ellsworthy as well, really can shoot the hell out of that ball. So we just want to make sure we get a hand up on her and just control the paint.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got a minute and a half to go, so we'll let you get back into the pits, Jay. But thank you very much, Coach McCracken, for your time here today, and good luck for the rest of the game.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach. It was a really good first half from the Rip. Coach McCracken would be really happy with the team's performance. But like he said, you're going to have to really continue to play that same pace because at the end of the day, it's only a 2-point game. You can play as great as you want in the first half. It's a 2-point game. It's pretty much the same. It's the same score. You're only up 2. So Coach McCracken would want his team to continue to play defensively. I thought they did a really good job in that first half defensively, and I think they did control the pace pretty well as well. I was surprised to see the Rip really pushing the pace as much as they did, but you can see that they're pretty dangerous in the open court, so they're going to want to continue to rebound the ball well and look to hurt the Pirates in transition.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. Like, they did have a much better quarter in that second, the RipCity. So, Southwest, I think they're just going to have to go back to basics. They're really going to have to focus on their defensive game. They're going to need to stop or find some way of stopping Lee Scott because she's just been on an absolute massive scoring run. So, if Southwest can't control the pace of the game, bring it back to the way that they want to play and the way that they want to perform, they're going to find themselves in a little bit of trouble. But 2-point game, it really is anyone's game here at the moment, and both teams playing an outstanding game of basketball as well. So who knows what's going to happen from here, John?
It was a really good first half. I can't imagine it's going to be any different in the second half. Coach Cheney would be fairly happy with his team's performance, but I think he'll certainly believe that he can get better from his troops. So we'll see how they go to start the second half.
Yeah, and we are starting that second half now with Southwest kicking things off. They're going to look to get some points on the board nice and early to get the lead back in their favour. Lee Scott playing very nice uptight defense against the captain, Willie. C-Camp now with the ball as the shot clock rolls down into single digits. Great uptight screen from Bairstow, but C-Camp can't fire away.
And Lee Scott just grabbed another rebound. She's now got 17 points and 9 rebounds. So she didn't get that double-double by halftime, but I'll dare to say that she'll get it by the end of the afternoon.
I'd be very surprised if she didn't get it early on in this third quarter.
And again, you see the Rip going to their strength. That's their size inside. They really do have the size advantage across the board. You look at them, they're a big team size-wise, and that's exactly what they're focusing on. Really smart playing there from the Rip. Carly Smith is a talented player. She did a great job finishing on the other end. The lead's now 4 for the Rip.
Yeah, Maddie Willie just couldn't seem to find the bottom of the net on that 3-point opportunity. They'll get the ball back, though. Ellsworthy with it now as the shot clock rolls down into single digits. But great steal there. Ellsworthy's pass just picked at the last moment. As Langhorne goes all the way to the bucket from the steal. Can't quite convert, though, and Southwest with it again.
Yeah, Rip really needed that one. That would have been a huge bucket for them. But you see the Pirates turn it over. Those ones really, really hurt. You got the stop on the other end. You have an opportunity to cut the deficit, and then you turn it over. Those are the ones that when you go back and you watch the game film, these are the ones that hurt you in the long run.
Yeah, definitely so. It's not what you want to do. When you work that hard defensively as well, you use up a lot of energy to then turn it over on a silly pass like that. It's not a good position to be in. Southwest still doing a relatively good job at controlling the pill. That was their only 5th turnover of the game, so they haven't been doing too bad a job. But at a time like this in a 4-point game, you can't afford to have any turnovers, especially not like that.
Man, turnovers hurting both teams a bit here.
RipCity finds a very open McDonald on the left-hand side, and she kicks inside to Shaw, who rolls towards the center of the court and fires one away for 2. Lead out to 6.
That was a great look there by McDonald, and a nice finish by Shaw. She spun. I think she thought she might have had a defender on her hip, but nonetheless able to keep her composure and finish.
Yeah, fired away nice and clean. No one really inside. As Nat Taylor down the other end now fires for 3. Willie with a tap away to Seacamp, who looks to take the long jump. Steps inside as Bairstow drives all the way down the center and fires one home. Let's hope for Southwest's sakes that's the start of Bairstow's run.
Yeah, Pirates definitely need Bairstow to get going. She was pretty quiet in the first half. She only had 4 points. Like we said, and we say it all the time with Steph, once she sees one shot fall, it could become a barrage.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully that's the start of a little bit of a run of points as Lee Scott tries to spin towards the center of the court and is stripped by Seacamp. Ellsworthy now driving hard to the basket, and she'll draw the foul on the way to the bucket.
Yeah, great help defense there by Ellsworthy, reaching in to double team Scott, get the steal, and take it strong to the basket for the foul shot. Nice foul, though, there by McDonald. I don't mind that at all because it was a clear play at the ball. She got some foul, she got some contact, and referees called it. You know, that's for the game of basketball.
Yeah.
As long as you make a play at the ball, it's fine.
Yeah, definitely so. And Ellsworthy's definitely not one that you want to give an easy run to the basket as well. So I've got nothing wrong with making a nice controlled foul like that to prevent the easy 2-point bucket and make him work for him from the free throw line.
And those 2 free throws cut the deficit to 2.
RipCity straight down the other end. They're going to fire away for 3, but can't find the net. Lead still at 2 as Willie drives fast down the court, kicks over to Ellsworthy on the opposite side of the court, and she fires a nice set jumper for nothing but net.
Oh, nice steal there from Seacamp. She read that play.
And fires away as well, so getting the steal and straight away converting to points. Southwest has come from a 6-point deficit to a 2-point lead. Coach McCracken not happy with the way the girls performing early on, so he's gone to the bench for a timeout. So we're going to take a break as well, and we'll be back with you shortly with more live QBL action presented by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. And welcome back to your QBL Game of the Week as we continue this great clash between the Southwest Metro Pirates and the USC RipCity. It's a 2-point lead. Southwest finding themselves back in front. And again, Southwest going straight to work. Seacant with a great little deflection to Bairstow for the steal. Nat Taylor pulling up on the 3-point line and converting the bucket as well. So Southwest with a big turnaround here, John.
And Coach McCracken would be furious at the moment. You call the timeout, you turn it over on your first possession and give up a 3-pointer. That's the direct opposite of what Coach McCracken would have been hoping for.
Yeah, and that's 2 plays in a row where a steal from Southwest has ended up in buckets as well. So 2 very, very costly turnovers from the Rip, and that's why Southwest is now 5 points in front, possibly 7 as Bairstow takes a set free throw and makes it.
Yeah, again, Coach McCracken would be disappointed on that defensive set. You just cannot give Steph Bairstow an open look. Someone needs to be on her and contesting every shot she takes.
Yeah, definitely so. So she's found her feet now as another turnover from the RipCity. They're really struggling in this third quarter. Seacamp again coming down with the steal. Opportunity now for Bairstow. She fakes out on the 3-point shot, kicks out to Seacamp. She fires for 3. Nat Taylor with a strong offensive rebound.
That was a great offensive rebound there from Nat Taylor. That could have been a backbreaker, that Seacamp 3, but good job by Taylor giving them another opportunity.
Yeah, well, Willie now is going to take a three of her own, and that looked beautiful, straight out of the hands, directly in front of us. Great shot from Willie, extends the lead to 10.
Yeah, three-point shot is starting to fall for the Pirates. It's a bit of trouble for the Rip here. They need a bucket and a couple stops.
Yeah, it's been a 16-point turnaround in all of about 3.5 minutes, I think, John. So definitely a troublesome spot for the RipCity. They just need to compose themselves and keep focusing on their offense and not making those silly, unnecessary turnovers.
And they're also giving up a few offensive rebounds on the last few possessions. The Rip did a great job on the glass in the first half.
Yeah, and I don't know. I understand Lee Scott wanting to play man-on-man defense with Seacamp, but she's been the biggest board puller for Rip. I mean, they can't be giving up offensive rebounds for Southwest, so Scott needs to be getting herself in under the bucket to try and pull those boards.
Well, defensively, if she's marking up, she's going to defend a perimeter player. She's going to be caught out on the outside of the paint. So it's a really good job from the Pirates recognizing that and keeping Seacamp on the perimeter to keep Scott off the glass.
Yeah, definitely so. It's a really smart passage of play from them. RipCity find themselves in a little bit of a tough position, but Bianca Abbott is going to check in now for sure. So let's see if this shakes things up a little bit, if Abbott can start pulling some defensive boards and helping stop the second chance opportunities for the Pirates. Seacamp now again out on the perimeter. She fires away, but it rattles out of the basket.
One of these days, I'm going to try and see if I could organize a chat with Carly Smith. I'd be really interested to see how the difference or playing 3-on-3 basketball helps you in the QBL or vice versa. It's really a different game, that 3-on-3.
Yeah, it's very, very different. Personally, from me playing some 3-on-3 basketball myself, it's a tough thing, 3-on-3 basketball. You know, it's all in a half court. You're playing a lot of uptight defense and offense, and it's switching around. You've got to change your mindset very quickly to play a 3-on-3 game. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it helps, what it hinders in. A very different game of basketball.
I thought Seacamp was checking out, but it's Bairstow who's going to get a breather. Trat steps back on the court. She's been really good this afternoon also.
Yeah, to step up into a QBL position, she's been playing a great game of basketball as well. Hasn't had like a lot of points on the board, but defensively, she's been playing a really tough job of manning up on either Bianca Abbott or Shaw, but doing a really great job in stopping them from getting some buckets.
And she's been active defensively, active on the glass as well, and that's all you really want is when you have a young player on the court, that they're engaged and aware of what's happening around them. And she's really played well in the minutes that she's gotten.
Yeah, definitely so. Scott now down to single digits as she passes to Carden David, who fires a long three, and that one's good for the Rip.
Yeah, Rip needed that bucket. They needed that bucket in the worst way.
Yeah, defense falling apart a little bit here as Nat Taylor almost looked to have the open three-point shot, but decided to hold it down and slow things up. Look for a better opportunity. Seacamp double teams now. Great defense from RipCity. Bianca Abbott getting the steal, ripping it away from Taylor. This is a much better defensive play from Rip.
Triple team there. Gets the steal. Look at Smith just barreling her way through, getting an active hand on the ball. It goes out of bounds off the Pirates. And that's, again, that's just desire there really from Smith. Just barreling her way through, getting an active hand on the ball. Making something happen for her team.
Yeah, really not happy with the way the team's been playing down the other end, I think. So she's just trying to fire on all cylinders and just do anything that she can to help the team close this 7-point gap. But Smith's been having a great game across both ends of the court, really. Willie's pass just tipped out of bounds by McDonald. So Southwest going to have 10 seconds on the inbound pass to try and make work. Willie straight into Ellsworthy. Passes to Seacamp. Seacamp's a little bit too open. She fires away for three, and that was a poor defensive decision, unfortunately, from Smith. You can't let Seacamp open on the three-point shot like that because she's going to fire it every single time.
Yeah, and she was able to set her feet. She hesitated a bit, then regathered herself. I mean, she gave the defense every opportunity to contest, and they chose not to.
Yeah, exactly it. It looked like they were going to come out and defend her, but then last minute just decided to stay off and let her take the shot, and it's really cost them as well because she made the three-point bucket. And Southwest pulling down a lot of O-boards down underneath, but not able to get the putbacks.
Yeah, there's a lot of contact on a few of those plays. The referee is doing a good job, though, letting the teams play. Seacamp had a couple opportunities there, couldn't convert on any of them. She got the foul, That's the third team foul on the Rip. They're down 10 with about 2:30 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, Rip desperately needed to find some defensive boards here. Southwest is just getting way too many second chance opportunities to put the ball back. Very nice out of bounds play there for Southwest, going straight to Taylor for that jumper.
Yeah, Taylor just came right off that screen, ready to shoot. Got it right in her shooting pocket and able to hit it.
Bairstow looking to check back in for Southwest on the next stoppage. RipCity shot clock rolls down into single digits. Smith looks inside for Abbott. Got 6 seconds to shoot. Kicks over. Scott just misses it, but Langhorne picks it up behind her and fires one for 3.
Yeah, the well's gone a bit dry here for the Rip. They're struggling to put the ball in the basket. Southwest doing a good job getting some good looks and playing well defensively.
Yeah, Neve Tratt fighting hard for that offensive rebound, as well. But Rip just managing to pull it out of her hands with Abbott. As Carden David looks to go for another 3-point. She's 2 from 2 this quarter from 3. Yeah, she's been having a great long game.
She has been doing damage from three-point land. She's a 62, nearly 63% shooter from 3 during this QBL season so far.
A little bit of a loose ball out of bounds there. Steph Bairstow and Grace Champion going to check in for Southwest, subbing out the youngster Neve Tratt and Seacamp as well.
Just want to remind everyone this game's presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia, showcasing Australian sport online. Make sure you visit the Facebook page of Live Sport Australia, Nothing But Net Media. Give us likes and you'll find out heaps of information about sport all across the country.
And back down Rip's end of the court as Carden David picks up a very loose rebound and just fires it away from the free throw line for 2.
And Rip on a mini run here, cutting the deficit now to 7, under a minute to go in the quarter.
Steph Bairstow looks to go to work as she rolls. Fadeaway jumper, no good. Ellsworthy just all too easy, picking that one up. Loose rebounds really hurting RipCity. They're just not pouncing on those defensive boards.
Nice spin move there by Bairstow. Can't get the roll, though.
Yeah, Bairstow, she looked like she was going to start her roll. She had 2 in a row, but just finding a little bit of difficulty getting the ball to hit the bottom of the net.
Yeah, Carden David pretty lucky she didn't get called for a travel on that one.
Lee Scott steps up at the top of the key, and she fires one for 2. Lead cut down to 5 now. Rip definitely getting a little bit of a lead. Southwest just not able to convert on their last 3 opportunities down the court.
Well, they'll hold for the final shot of the quarter. Rip doing a good job hanging tough with the Pirates this afternoon.
So Willie kicks out to Ellsworthy. She's going to take the last shot of the game. A little bit too short, hits the front of the rim. And she'll actually get another chance as well. Southwest with 1 second to go. So they'll have a very brief moment to try and fire away a shot.
There's 1 second to go. Seacamp going to try and get into this game here to see if she can get a shot off. Champion going to get a breather, and Seacamp checking in.
Yeah, so it looks like Southwest are going to try and get the ball to Seacamp down on the left-hand side of the court as she grabs it, spins, fires, and misses. So we go into the 3-quarter time break. It's now cut to a 5-point lead for Southwest. So we've had a little bit of a turnaround and a great third quarter from Southwest. So 6 points of difference, 61-56 on your QBL Game of the Week. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back with you shortly with more live QBL Round 3 action presented by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. And we're back with you at Hibiscus Sports Complex for this really close clash between the Southwest Metro Pirates and the University of Sunshine Coast Rip. It's 56-61. Southwest just doing a bit of a turnaround, getting themselves in front to lead into the fourth quarter. John, what's going to be the big key for both teams to close out this game?
Well, I think if you're the Pirates, you want to make sure that you're continuing to play defensively strong. I think that it was really the defense that got the Pirates back into that one. They tightened the defense up a little bit, and then the three-pointers started to fall. If you're the Rip, you got to get some stops. That's good. That's the first thing you need to do. You're trailing. You're down 5. You need to get stops, and then they need to find someone to consistently put the ball in the bucket for them. Lee Scott cooled off a little bit in that third quarter. Really all the Rip did. They lost that third by 7, 21-14. Someone needs to step up for Rip if they want to pull out the victory.
And I think Rip just need to start taking more shots as well, because they're shooting at a really high percentage. They're shooting at 42% versus Southwest 34, but they've taken 13 less shots in the game. So if they can just keep playing strong offensive passages of play, firing the ball, they're just going to naturally find that they're getting more points. But at the moment, their turnovers are hurting them. At really crucial moments of the game when they can put 2 points on the board themselves, they turn over, and Southwest just pounce on it like a tiger, and they capitalize.
Yeah, Seacamp going to fire a 3, and that's good. You couldn't ask for a better start if you're Southwest. Getting a stop on one end and a 3 on the other. That's exactly what I said. The three-pointer is the ultimate weapon, though, in the modern game of basketball. You hit more three-pointers than the opposition, you're going to be in good position to win the game.
Absolutely, and that's 4 from 7 from the three-point line for Seacamp as well. So she's hot percentage-wise as we come right down the other end now. And again, Southwest is capitalizing on an easy defensive stop, and Willie just going to town in the keyway.
Yeah, well, poor transition defense there from the Rip. They let Maddie Willie go straight to the basket on her own. Seacamp aggressive defensively, gets the foul from behind on Carden David.
Definitely the right idea, though. She's playing a very aggressive game of basketball, and I have no issues with that at all because she's actively trying to chase down the ball. Unfortunately, she got the bump in the back of Carden David, but a great defensive play.
It's her second foul. It's the first team foul on the Pirates in the fourth quarter.
As Scott going to pick up an offensive foul as well as she tries to drive through the center of Ellsworthy and picks up the offensive.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Regan, you're our resident referee.
Look, I'm as skeptical as you are as well, to be honest with you, John. It looked like it's a tough call because I didn't have the best position, to be completely honest with you. But just based off how good defense Sarah Ellsworthy has been playing in this game, it didn't look clean from here, but at the same time, I've got to give a shout out to Ellsworthy because she has been playing amazing defense. So, look, it really wouldn't surprise me if she did get in front and draw that offensive foul. So, look, tough call from the referees. They probably had a better spot than me, but look, Ellsworthy's been playing a great defensive game of basketball, so give her the credit.
And she did a great job getting to the paint, getting fouled, and getting to the free throw line for 2 shots. She misses the first. Take this time to thank one of our sponsors, Australian Sports Network. Get in touch with James at Australia Sports Network for all of your live streaming graphics needs. He's done all of the graphics for us here in your QBL Game of the Week. He's helped us out for a couple years now. Does a great job.
Yeah, as Lee Scott goes to work on the inside for RipCity, putting on her 21st points of the game. So she's having an absolute blinder as Willie wide open from the left-hand elbow for 3. Southwest just shooting on all ends for 3 points at the moment, and they're just raining.
I think Rip are doing quite a poor job in transition as well. That was a transition 3, and those are the ones that you really hate giving up. But Pirates, again, a little more aggressive defensively and offensively as far as I'm concerned to start the fourth.
Yeah, it's Kelly Page again, another 3-point shot, hitting nothing but net. Rip really slow to get out to the 3-point shot, and we've had almost 100% shooting from 3 in the last couple of minutes. So Southwest just turning every opportunity into points.
Yeah, Southwest just doing a good job, though, getting those 3-point shots off a dribble penetration. That forces the dribble penetration, forces the defense to collapse on you, and then it opens up those corner threes like we see the Pirates drain the last few possessions.
Yeah, Kelly Page is picking up a foul here on their defensive end of the court. Lee Scott looks like she may have got a finger or an elbow or something in the eye as well, just looking like she was in a little bit of pain, so she's going to get checked out. Big subs on both ends of the court. Nice inbound passage of play there. Lani Scheibner straight to the veteran Shaw, who fires away for 2.
Yeah, it's a great out-of-bounds play and a good bucket for the Rip. They need to get some stops, though.
And again, it can't quite do it, unfortunately. Seacam making that reverse layup look all too easy, especially against the likes of Shaw as well. I mean, Shaw's got a significant height difference, but didn't even look to try and stop that shot. It just went straight over her.
Nice 2 points there for the Rip. But they're trading buckets at the moment. They need to get some stops. Again, they have to tighten things up in the transition defense. You heard Coach McCracken say at halftime he wants to play a little more up-tempo. They're doing that on the offensive end, but they're not doing it defensively. They're not getting back and challenging the Pirates. Pirates are getting too many easy open transition looks. And
they're not even chasing the rebounds like we just saw on that occasion there. I mean, Ellsworth is probably the shortest player on the court at the moment. She fired a shot, got a bump, and then quite easily grabbed her own rebound. Rip just looking a little bit defensively like they're giving up at the moment. They're not even trying to chase the boards, and Southwest is taking every second chance opportunity and converting.
Well, Ellsworthy has, I think she's got 7 rebounds, and 5 of them are offensive.
Yeah.
That just goes to show you what an effective player she is.
So those made points from Southwest extends the lead out to 16 points. Southwest really just changing this game around in the second half. They were struggling a little bit in the first, and RipCity had the advantage, but everything's been going right for Southwest in this second period so far.
Southwest has really lifted the intensity level defensively, and a lot of that is driven from Nicole Seacamp. You see her really pressuring the ball defensively, and as soon as the opposition picks up the ball, she is just all over them, really putting the defense under a lot, the offense under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, Lee Scott just missing a nice open layup there as well. A little bit of a poor defensive decision from Southwest to leave Scott open like that, but again, things just not going the way for RipCity at the moment as Scott's layup was no good. Bairstow driving hard down the other end of the court. Straight in the chest of McDonald, I think it is, and just picking up the defensive foul. So won't go to the line. She'll end up on the baseline.
Yeah, good hesitation dribble from Bairstow. She used it twice on McDonald. McDonald tried to pick up the foul call. It was a clear block, though.
It's always worth a shot. You never know. You might win those ones every now and then. Pirates down into single digits on the shot clock as Willie finds a beautiful cut from Page, but Page's reverse layup no good on that occasion. But again, great offensive decision from the Pirates.
Yeah, it was a good look. Unfortunately, Page couldn't finish.
Yeah, again, the veteran in Shaw just finding a nice little open baseline jumper, firing that one away for 2.
Yeah, Shaw's going to be an impact player once she really finds her feet, gets used to playing in the QBL, but also with her teammates. She's had a pretty solid debut game here for the Rip.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she hasn't put a lot of points on the board, but she's been doing a really great job defensively and stopping some key opportunities from Southwest. So once she finds her feet, she gets used to playing back in Australia, she's going to find herself getting some big points.
Yeah, it's a good finish there by Lee Scott on the Euro step. Coach Cheney not happy with his troops, so he takes a timeout. We'll take one as well. It's 78-66 Pirates over the Rip. Your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia.
And welcome back to Hibiscus Sports Complex as we continue to bring you the QBL Round 3 Game of the Week. Southwest Metro just really finding their feet here late in the fourth quarter as they extend out to a 12-point lead. Coach Cheney just taking a bit of a time out there just to get his troops checked back in, give them a bit of a rest so they can finish out this final quarter. And they're going to start things off as well. RipCity really going to need to try and find themselves some stops at the moment. They're just trading buckets with Southwest, but they're going to need to make some big stops and convert down the other end if they're going to get themselves back into this game. And Seacamp again firing away from 3, shooting an incredibly high percentage from deep.
And Seacamp is now 5 of 8 from 3, nearly 60% from beyond the arc.
Which is impressive from any level, as McDonald's down the other end fires nicely from inside for 2.
Yeah, that was the captain Langhorne finishing there. That was a really strong take. But like I've said before, Regan, Rip has to get some stops. It's the three-point shot of the Pirates that's really doing a majority of the damage here in the second half.
Yeah, definitely so. And Rip's just been a little bit slow to get out to the three-point shot of late, and that's really what's made the big difference for Southwest, because their three-point shots, realistically, this 11-point lead, probably 12 points of that has been wide open three-point shots, so they haven't even had a hand in the face. So that's been a big key point for Southwest this half.
Yeah, well, Southwest doing a good job, though, getting their shooters open shots. Like I said, dribble penetration, a lot of back screens, fading into the corner. The Pirates are doing a good job getting themselves those three-point looks.
Yeah, and they've had a good inside-outside game as well, which I'm always a big fan of. I love when a player drives strong to the inside of the keyway, draws in the defense, then has that out kick to a three-point shooter that's now open. Always been a big fan. It's very effective, and Southwest has been capitalizing great on it in this game.
And you see going outside in this time, Willie getting the ball inside the paint. It's a team foul. That's the 5th team foul on the Rip, so they're in the penalty. I'm sure Willie's going to be shooting some free throws.
Yeah, so Willie will end up on the free throw line for 2. It almost looks like she didn't want to take the free throw. She kind of wanted the baseline play just by that expression she just gave off then. But nonetheless, she is going to go to the line for 2 with just over 4 minutes to go in the 4th quarter of the QBL game of the week.
And Willie, it feels like we haven't really mentioned Willie much today, but she's got 18 points, 5 rebounds, and a few assists. So she's having herself another solid game. She's been great for the Pirates to start this season. I think she's a really underrated player, I think, as well. She's been playing in the QBL for quite a while, but she can do a little bit of everything, and her game continues to grow each year. I think so far this season she's been a much more consistent three-point shooter, which I think got away from her at times last year.
Yeah, she's just such a natural player, and I think that's why we've kind of overshadowed her a little bit and haven't mentioned her too much in this game. I'm so used to her playing such a beautiful game of basketball, and she just seems so natural out on the court. And as you said, she's shooting a much higher three-point percentage at the moment. She's 4 from 6 in the game for 66%. She's about 50% from the free throw line, but shooting 75% from the field as well. So she's just having such a nice little game. It looks like a training drill for her.
Yeah, well, it looked like a training drill for Bairstow there, using the step-back jumper to hit the 2 over Shaw.
RipCity tries to take a three-point shot of their own, but that one no good, unfortunately, for the captain, Langhorne. Seacamp with it now for Southwest. Bairstow, nice little, incredibly lazy screen by the looks of that, but the roll to the bucket worked. She got the pick, got the pass from Seacamp and found the bucket.
Yeah, that was absolutely filthy there from Seacamp. It was a no-look drop-off. Bairstow came over to set the screen and then just slipped right to the basket, caught the Rip sleeping.
Yeah, it may have been ugly, but it worked. Down the other end, though, McDonald going to work on the three-point line for RipCity, finding the bottom of the net.
Listen, it feels like the Pirates should be up by 25 here at the moment. They're only up by 12. They're still in this game, but the clock is certainly not in their favor. I'll say it again, I sound like a broken record. They have to string together a couple stops in a row to get themselves within striking distance.
Yeah, and lazy defensive plays like that from Smith, just quite literally stepping into Seacamp from the side, not really trying to make any move to get in front at all. That's not going to help them either, especially when you've got Seacamp shooting at such a good percentage as well. So they're just making things harder for themselves. They're not playing a good defensive game of basketball. They're shooting okay still, but they need to get those stops, like you said, Johnny.
And if you're going to continue to give up open looks to the Pirates and put them on the free throw line, you're in the penalty already. It could be almost too little too late for the Rip. I'm not ready to call it a wrap just yet, but we're close. Yeah,
I've seen crazy things happen before, so it's definitely not over, but things not going well for Rip at the moment as Langhorne's shot is blocked. Seacamp wide open for 3, but great job at drawing Shaw out to her, and then driving baseline. Bairstow with it now. Inside-outside play to Taylor. Couldn't quite get her hands on it, though. The pass a little bit wayward from Bairstow. She then goes inside and fires on the fadeaway. No good.
Yeah, there's the stop for the Rip. They do need a bucket, though, to capitalize on this end as well.
And Shaw's definitely going to make, or not, that bucket, but thankfully Scott is on there to get the rebound and put it away for 2.
Yeah, I think Rip would have loved the N1 call there as they force a turnover. Smith finds Scott, going to the rim for the layup.
Yeah, Coach Cheney not happy with those 2 quick turnovers and conversions. The lead back down to only 10 now for Southwest. As you said, it's a little bit too early to call anything. Coach Cheney not happy with what's just happened, so he's taking a timeout. We'll take a quick one as well, but we'll be back with you shortly for the final 2 minutes of your QBL Game of the Week, presented by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. And welcome back to Hibiscus Sports Complex. We've got 1 minute 52 remaining in your QBL Women's Game of the Week. It is the Southwest Metro Pirates leading the University of Sunshine Coast Rip. Southwest just having an absolutely blinding second half in this game here, Johnny. And during that break, we're just talking about the three-point percentage really being the big difference for Southwest. They shot 8 from 30 last night against the Rollers in their short win. But today, they're shooting a much, much better game of basketball. They're currently 13 from 30, so performing much better from out wide.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the game last night for the Pirates, unfortunately. But I would like to think that the shots that they're taking tonight are a little bit cleaner, a little more wide open as Seacamp gets fouled on her way to the bucket. But for me, the effectiveness of the Pirates' three-point shot, it's one thing to say they're shooting at a better clip, but for me this afternoon, they've all been really quality looks. They're not just settling for the three-point shot. They're running plays to get a three-point shot or an open look at a three. A lot of it is coming off of back screens, also dribble penetration, and that's what you really want to do. You want to make sure that you're giving those shooters enough space to catch and shoot without the contest. The dribble penetration does that because it forces the defense to collapse and you're kicking to open corners, or if you're setting back screens, you're really picking a player from behind to give yourself plenty of time. And Pirates just doing a good job of getting their shooters open shots, and the shooters are able to hit.
Yeah, well, it's definitely been working for the Pirates today, that's for sure. As Seacamp goes 2 from 2 from the free throw line, just taking that lead back out to 12 points. So Rip really needing to find a bucket here with 1.5 to go. And then a couple of very big, very key stops required to get themselves back in the last minute. Captain Langhorne has it now, and she fires a three. But that one is no good, hits nothing but the backboard.
Yeah, it wasn't really a great look there from Langhorne. I would have liked to have seen them get an inside touch to Shore or Smith potentially. I think that was a rush shot. Probably a poor decision there by Langhorne.
Yeah, they still had 10 seconds left on the shot clock as well. So a better look would have been, you know, they may have only got 2 points and not 3 on the inside, but still it's 2 points better than where they are sitting now. So, you know, I understand the desire to get points and they need to close the gap a little bit, but you got to take the right looks. As Seacamp takes on Abbott down the other end of the court and find no good find there. I think Abbott might have just copped a little bit of a wayward elbow or arm to the eye as well, looking like she got a bit of a hit. Rip now, Abbott straight back, sorry, Shaw that was, for the nice little fadeaway jumper for 2. Lead back down to 10.
Hey, good things happen for the Rip when they get short touches or when they get a paint touch. I thought they did an excellent job of that in the first half. I think the Pirates have done a better job of forcing the Rip to play more perimeter-oriented in the second half.
So 6 seconds now on the shot clock. Southwest needing to fire, and it is a corner 3 from Nat Taylor. Bairstow just goes to work on the inside for the offensive rebound and gets fouled on the putback.
Yeah, good desire there. And again, I think the Pirates have shown a much more stronger will for the ball in the second half as opposed to what they were showing in the first half. Rip really seemed a lot more energetic, a lot more into the game, showing that strong desire that Coach McCracken referenced at the half. I think the Pirates have amped up their intensity level in the second half, and that's been a strong factor for them to be able to pull away, which it looks like it's going to be a win for them. They're up 11 with 20 seconds to go.
It seems to be a consistent thing for the Pirates at the moment as well, which it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think it's something they're going to need to work on leading into, later in the season is they do take off very slow. It was the same last night against the Rollers. It was the same in the game that we covered against the Spartans. They take off very slow, but then end up firing on all cylinders in that last half. So it hasn't been a problem yet. They've still managed to win all of their games, but it's something that may start causing an issue later down the season if they can't, if they can't find 4 quarters of consistent basketball.
Yeah, but that's going to do it. It's a 92-79 win. It was a really excellent game. I think the Rip deserve a lot of credit. I thought they played fantastic basketball today, but Pirates were just a little bit better on the day. Like I said, picking up that intensity level a little bit, and the three-point shot, it was the ultimate winner for the Pirates. Most of their damage in the second half was done from beyond the arc, and credit to the Pirates. They really ramped it up defensively and punished the Rip in transition.
Yeah, it made a very big difference that second half of basketball for Southwest. They just had such a big step up in terms of their overall performance, their intensity, and I think a lot of it comes down to the defensive game that they actually played as well. They stepped up, they got a couple of really key stops on Rip, and then ended up converting down to the other end as well. So we're just going to have a quick look at the stats. Johnny's going to try and run and grab someone for us to talk to from the Pirates as well. Just have a little bit of a chat about how the game felt out on the court. But looking at the stat sheet, I think the big key difference for Southwest is that second half, they just played a much better defensive game, and they ended up shooting at a pretty similar percentage as they did in the first half. So starting with the University of Sunshine Coast Rip. So looking at the Rip, look, great performance all around, but a key player for them is, again, as always, Leah Scott, hitting 27 points. She did end up getting her double-double, but only just with 10 rebounds as well, 6 of those defensive. She got 4 assists as well. So she's been playing a really great, consistent game of basketball. Shaw finishing up second on 13 points. She pulled down a couple of rebounds as well. Not as many as I would have expected from such a big presence on the inside. And Langhorn as well, ending up on 10, as well as Carden David. So great all-round consistent performance from RipCity, shooting at 46% from the field. So they didn't take as many shots as Southwest and didn't have as good a percentage, but they did shoot really, really consistently from deep. Jumping up to Southwest, look, another great performance all around. Seacamp getting 29 points on the board, so really great performance from her. She also ended with a double-double with 12 rebounds, but not to be outdone by the rest of the team as well. Maddie Willie ending up on 18 points, 6 boards and 4 rebounds as well. Steph Bastow, 15 points, 9 rebounds, just shy of her double-double. And Sarah Ellsworthy on 14 points as well with 5 rebounds and 4 assists. And speaking of which, Sarah actually joins us now in the commentary booth as well. Sarah, great game out on the floor. Can't commend you enough. We've been commenting for the last 3 games that we've covered you guys, how well you've been feeling out on the court. What's it like joining the Pirates, and how's it felt out on the floor for you?
I've really enjoyed it so far. The Pirates family welcomed us all in really well. So we've got quite a new team this year. I think there's only about 3 people from the group last year. So quite a new team. Had quite a long preseason. We all came here pretty early to try and get that gel, but it's really good, and we've all got each other's backs out there, so it's feeling really good.
So one of the big things we noticed in the game out there this afternoon was that you guys had just an amazing half. What did Cheney talk about at halftime to really give you the extra energy to come out firing in that second half?
I think our game starts with our defense. So when we play hard defense and get stops and run the floor, that's when we look really good. So I think our focus at halftime was locking down in defense, getting the ball, then getting out in the open court.
You do a good job defensively, Sarah. It seems like your game as well is based off of your defensive intensity. You had some really interesting matchups there a few times. They had the size advantage of you. What's your approach when you have a bigger player on you, particularly in the post?
I mean, you just got to be physical. I've just got to use what I've got to try and beat those bigger players. But I guess try and pressure them in the open court is my strength. So try and pressure the ball, slow the ball down so they can't get any open passes into the post. It was a
really tough first half for you guys. Second half, though, I thought you guys did a better job in transition. Was that a focus of yours, trying to get out and run and really push the ball down the court?
Yeah, definitely. That's our game, and I think that starts from our defensive energy. So when we have our energy, get those stops, we can push the floor. When they're getting scores, then that obviously slows us down. So it starts from our D, and then, yeah, we look really good in the open court.
Yeah, well, you had a really great game on both ends of the court as well, firing on all cylinders, getting some really good shooting percentages. But defensively as well, I think you ended up taking 3 charges, or it had to be close to that as well. So to be able to step up and play a good defensive game like that is really, really good. How do you think you guys are going to go for the rest of the season as well? Do you think you guys have it in you to make it all the way to the finals?
Yeah, definitely. I think every practice, every game, we look at getting better. So hopefully every game we're going to keep pushing, and I think we can be one of the better teams. We've still got a lot of work to do, but we're gonna work hard and push to be up there.
Yeah, well, you do have an ever-changing team as well, obviously with the likes of Jade Kirisome stepping out to join the Gems and train there. Kalani Purcell coming back into the team as well. How do you adapt to the fact that your team does change like on a week-to-week basis depending on what other national commitments the players have?
I think that was part of the recruiting process this year. We had to get quite a deep team because the likes of the Purcell sisters and, yeah, we have people coming in and out all the time. So I guess we've just got to be strong from 1 to 12 and play hard every week and just adapt to who we've got and change around our offense, defense with what we've got.
It was a great game, Sarah. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, and good luck for the next game.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Yeah, there was Sarah Ellsworthy joining us. I'm sure she wants to go join the rest of her teammates with the win. It was a great performance from the Pirates. I really think the second half was the true Pirates that we saw play. Defensively, as we heard Ellsworthy say, that's their focus. If they can play well defensively, it really pushes them on the offensive side of things. And you watch back that second half, that's exactly what happened. They ramped up the defensive pressure, put the Rip under a ton of pressure, both defensively and offensively, and they're able to pull away with the big win. It was a really good game. I think the Rip there's no reason for them to hang their head. I thought they were in that game the whole time. I think defensively, though, like I said, the Pirates made the adjustment, forcing them to play a more perimeter-based game, and that's not the Rip's strength at the moment.
Yeah, no, not at all. But speaking of big games, guys, don't go anywhere because we have another big one coming up for you shortly. So we see the Southwest men taking on the RipCity as well, and it's going to be another great game. So don't go anywhere, guys. Go and grab a quick break. We got around about 20 minutes before this Mother's Day clash between the two teams takes off. So thanks again for joining us and everyone at home for always coming to these games and watching us online. But don't go anywhere. As always, got to say a big shout out to Chris Sieber on the camera helping us out, co-commentator John Guana, I've been Regan Baker, and as always, big shout out to James Bowman down in Sydney as well for all the help he gives us. So don't go anywhere because we'll have more QBL Round 3 action for you shortly.